The smell of turkey filled my parents' house as I helped my 8-year-old daughter, Emma, out of her coat. She was wearing the special dress she picked out, purple with silver butterflies, and carrying the pie we'd made together that morning. My hands were full of side dishes when I heard the voice that still haunted my nightmares. "Hey Claire, long time no see." I froze in the doorway. There, sitting at my parents' dining table, in the seat right next to Emma's place card, was Ryan. My ex-husband, the man who'd broken my ribs, the man who'd held me against a wall by my throat, the man I fled with nothing but Emma and a garbage bag of clothes 4 years ago. He looked good. He always did. Clean-shaven, expensive sweater, that charming smile that had fooled everyone, including me, for far too long. "Mommy." Emma pressed against my leg, recognizing him despite not seeing him since she was 4. Surprise, my mother appeared, wearing her hostess smile and pearl necklace. I thought it was time we all moved past the unpleasantness. Unpleasantness. She called years of abuse unpleasantness. "What is he doing here?" My voice came out steadier than I felt. "I invited him," Mom said, as if that explained everything. "He's been reaching out, Claire. He's changed. Being through therapy. He deserves a second chance." He deserves. I couldn't finish. My throat was closing. Dad walked in from the kitchen, carrying the carved turkey. "There she is. Claire, stop standing there looking dramatic. It's Thanksgiving. Time to forgive and forget." "Forgive and forget," Mom echoed, guiding Emma to her seat, right next to Ryan. "He's family now." "Well, he always was really. Just because you two couldn't make it work doesn't mean we should lose touch." Ryan smiled at Emma. "Hey, princess, you probably don't remember me. I'm your dad." Emma looked at me, confused and scared. She remembered enough. The yelling, the breaking things, the night we left. "You always were too sensitive," Dad added, setting down the turkey. "Making mountains out of molehills." Ryan explained everything. "You took some arguments and blew them out of proportion." Arguments? I touched my side where the ribs had healed wrong because I couldn't go to the hospital. He'd said I'd fallen down the stairs. My sister Janet was already there, along with her husband Tom and their 3 kids. She wouldn't meet my eyes. My brother Michael was pouring wine, deliberately looking anywhere but at me. "Sit," Mom commanded. "We're saying grace." I remained standing. "Emma, come here." "She's fine where she is," Ryan said, putting his hand on my daughter's chair. Not touching her, but blocking her exit. "We have a lot of catching up to do." That's when I saw it. His other hand, under the table, had a small recording device. He was recording this. Planning to use it for something. Custody, maybe. Evidence of parental alienation if I made a scene. Fine, 2 could play that game. "You're right, Mom," I said suddenly, my voice calm. "We should all sit down." I took my seat across from Ryan, pulling my phone out and placing it screen down on the table. What no one knew was that I'd been recording since I walked in. Legal in our state. But more importantly, I prepared for something like this. 3 weeks ago, Ryan had started showing up places. The grocery store. Emma's school parking lot. Always maintaining legal distance. The restraining order had expired, and I couldn't prove stalking. When Mom had called insisting I come to Thanksgiving, no excuses, I'd had a feeling. So I prepared. The phone was recording. The pen in my pocket was recording. The teddy bear Emma was holding, the one I told her to bring for comfort, had a camera in it. "Let's eat," Mom said, beaming like she'd accomplished something wonderful. "So Ryan," I said, serving myself mashed potatoes, "Mom says you've been through therapy." "Extensive therapy," he nodded, putting on his best performance. "I've learned so much about myself. About my anger issues. I take full responsibility for my part in our problems." His part. As if I had a part in him breaking my bones. "What kind of therapy?" I asked. "Anger management. Personal counseling. I'm a different man now, Claire." "That's wonderful. Who's your therapist?" He paused. "Dr. Mitchell. Over in Riverside." I nodded, knowing I'd verify that later. "And how long have you been seeing Dr. Mitchell?" 6 months. "That's strange," I said, butter knife hovering over my roll. "Because I called Dr. Mitchell's office last week when Mom mentioned you've been in touch. They've never heard of you." The table went silent. "You called his therapist?" Mom gasped. "That's a violation of privacy." No, I called the only Dr. Mitchell in Riverside who does anger management. He's never had a patient named Ryan Walker. Ryan's jaw tightened, that telltale sign I knew too well. It must be a different Dr. Mitchell. What's his first name? People don't always use their therapist's first names. They do when they're writing checks or filing insurance. Can we just eat? Janet interjected. The food's getting cold. Yes, let's eat, Ryan said, turning to Emma. Sweetie, tell me about school. What grade are you in now? Emma looked at me. I nodded slightly. Third, she whispered. Third grade, you must be so smart. What's your favorite subject? I don't want to talk to you, Emma said quietly. The room tensed. Emma, Mom scolded. That's very rude. Apologize to your father. He's not my father, Emma said, stronger now. My dad is the one who chose me, not the one who hurt Mommy. She meant my boyfriend James, who'd been in our lives for 2 years, who'd never raised his voice, let alone his hand. Ryan's mask slid for just a second. I saw the rage flash before he covered it with hurt feelings. She's been coached, he said to the table. This is parental alienation. Classic case. No one coached her, I said. She remembers. She was 4. She doesn't remember anything accurately. I remember you throwing Mommy into the mirror, Emma said suddenly. I remember the blood. I remember hiding under my bed. Emma, stop, Mom said sharply. You're confused. That never happened. How would you know, Mom? I turned to her. You weren't there. Ryan told us what really happened. You were drinking, you fell. I've never been drunk in my life. I don't drink. You know that. You always were good at hiding things, Dad muttered. I laughed, actually laughed. Okay, let's talk about hiding things. Mom, did Ryan tell you he was arrested 2 years ago? Ryan went rigid. For what? Michael finally spoke. Domestic violence, against his girlfriend after me. Brittany Morse. The charges were dropped when she fled the state, but the arrest record stands. That's a lie, Ryan snarled. I pulled out my phone, pretending to check something but actually making sure it was still recording. Case number 19 CR 4782. Public record. Would you like me to pull it up? This is ridiculous, Mom stood. Claire, you're ruining Thanksgiving with your dramatics. No, Mom, you ruined it by inviting my abuser to dinner and seating him next to my daughter. Abuser. Dad slammed his hand on the table. Ryan never abused you. You fell down the stairs. You were clumsy. You always have been. I fell down the stairs 18 times in 2 years. I'm that clumsy. You're mentally unstable, Ryan said calmly, his recording device still running. Everyone here can see it. You're paranoid, delusional. This is why Emma needs a more stable environment. There it was. His play. He was building a custody case. You're right, I said. I was unstable. Living with you made me that way. But I'm better now. I have therapy records to prove it. Real ones, with a real therapist. Claire, Janet finally said, maybe you should just go. Yeah, I agreed, standing. Emma, get your coat. She's staying, Ryan said. I have a right to see my daughter. You have no rights. The divorce decree gave you none. 0 custody, 0 visitation. The judge saw the medical records. What medical records? Mom demanded. I turned to her, the ones from the ER. All 18 visits, the x-rays of broken bones, the photographs of bruises shaped like hands, the testimony from the nurse who finally called the police. You never showed us. Because you never asked. You took his word over mine, your own daughter. You were always difficult, she said, always causing problems. Ryan was the best thing that happened to you. Ryan was the worst thing that happened to me. And you know what? You knew. Some part of you knew. Why else would you need to ambush me? Why else would you seek him next to Emma without warning me? I moved toward Emma, but Ryan stood, blocking me. Sit down, he said quietly, that dangerous tone I remembered. Move. I said sit down. And I said move. He grabbed my wrist. His first mistake in 4 years, because this time I was ready. You're hurting me, I said loudly, clearly. Let go of my wrist. I'm barely touching you, he hissed. You're leaving bruises. Let go. He squeezed harder, his mask completely off now. You always were lying. Tom, Janet's husband, stood up. Hey man, Let her go. Mind your business, Ryan snarled. Let go of my wrist. I enunciated each word clearly for the recordings. He shoved me backward. I stumbled but didn't fall. Emma screamed. Michael finally moved, getting between us. Okay, that's enough. She's provoking me, Ryan shouted. You all saw it. She's trying to make me look bad. You're doing that yourself, Tom said, moving to stand by Michael. Ryan turned to my parents. You said you'd help me. You said you'd testify that she's unstable. The room went silent. You? What? I looked at my parents. Mom lifted her chin. He deserves to know his daughter. You were going to testify against me in a custody hearing? If necessary, Dad said. A girl needs her father. A girl needs safety. You've poisoned her against me. Ryan roared, lunging toward me again. This time Michael caught him, shoving him back. Touch my sister again and I'll drop you. Your sister is lying. The front door opened. James walked in with 2 police officers. I smiled. Did I mention I texted James when I saw Ryan's car in the driveway? Asked him to wait outside and call 911 if things went bad. The officers surveyed the scene, Ryan being held back by Michael and Tom, me rubbing my wrists, Emma crying. Ma'am, are you okay? One officer asked me. He grabbed me, shoved me, in violation of an expired restraining order that I'll be renewing tomorrow. That's assault, the officer said to Ryan. Sir, please turn around. This is insane, Ryan shouted. I didn't do anything. They're lying. Sir, turn around or we'll add resisting arrest. As they cuffed him, Ryan looked at my parents. You promised. You said you'd get me my family back. Your family? I pulled out my phone, stopping the recording and starting playback. The entire conversation crystal clear. Ryan admitting he lied about therapy. My parents admitting they planned to testify against me. Ryan grabbing me after I told him to stop. I have video too, I added, pointing to Emma's teddy bear camera, and audio from another device. 3 angles of you assaulting me in front of witnesses. The officers took Ryan away, but not before he screamed, "This isn't over." Yes, I said. It is. The house was quiet after the police left. My family stood frozen, processing what had just happened. You recorded us? Mom whispered. You conspired with my abuser against me. Yes, I recorded you. Were your parents? No, parents protect their children. You fed me to a wolf and told me to be grateful for the attention. Get out, Dad said quietly. You're not welcome here anymore. Good. I picked up Emma, who wrapped her arms around my neck. Emma and I don't need family who would sacrifice us for the comfort of keeping up appearances. James took Emma while I gathered our things. As we headed for the door, I turned back one last time. By the way, I'm sending these recordings to every family member, every friend, every person at your church. Everyone will know what you did. How you collaborated with a man who broke your daughter's bones to try to give him access to your granddaughter. You wouldn't, Mom gasped. I wouldn't have. But you taught me something today. Family isn't about blood. It's about protection. And since you won't protect Emma, I'll make sure everyone knows to protect their children from you. We left. In the car, Emma asked, Are we not going to see Grandma and Grandpa anymore? No, baby. They're not safe people. Good, she said, surprising me. They scared me. Grandma said if I wasn't nice to that man, I was a bad girl. When did she say that? When you were in the kitchen. She said he was my real daddy and I had to love him. I pulled over, rage making it unsafe to drive. James reached over, squeezing my hand. You did good, he said quietly. You protected her. That night, I uploaded everything to a shared drive and sent the link to 63 people. Every aunt, uncle, cousin, family friend, church member, and coworker my parents had. The subject line read, Why Emma and I will never attend another family gathering. By morning, my parents were pariahs. The church called them in for a meeting about their disturbing behavior. Dad's golf buddies uninvited him from their weekly game. Mom was asked to step down from the PTA board. Ryan was charged with assault and violating a restraining order. The recordings were admitted as evidence. He took a plea deal, 6 months in jail, mandatory anger management, real this time, and a permanent restraining order keeping him away from Emma and me. During the trial, it came out that my parents had been giving him money. paying for his lawyer to try to get custody. They'd spent $30,000 trying to give my abuser access to my daughter. The last communication I had with them was a letter from their lawyer demanding I take down the recordings. I responded with my own lawyer's letter containing 8 years of documentation, every ER visit, every police report, every photo of every bruise. The letter ended with, "Any further contact will be considered harassment and will be met with legal action." They never contacted me again. Emma is 12 now. She doesn't remember much about that Thanksgiving, just that it was the day Mommy made sure the bad people couldn't hurt us anymore. James adopted her last year. She calls him Dad and means it. Sometimes I wonder if I should have seen it coming. The signs were there. How they always asked if I was being difficult when Ryan seemed upset. How they suggested I should try harder when I mentioned problems. How they blamed me when I finally left, breaking up the family, they'd said. But I learned something that day. When someone shows you they'll sacrifice your safety for their comfort, believe them the first time. And always, press record. Last week, Emma asked if we could have our own Thanksgiving this year, just the 3 of us. Of course, I said. But why? Because, she said, wise beyond her years, real family doesn't invite monsters to dinner. No, real family protects you from them. Even if that means protecting you from themselves.